I know we were going to discuss Bears Saints, previewing a Week 9 matchup. Maybe we can go ahead and do that right here because I'm seeing 6 basically in the market with New Orleans, 41.5 on the total. So, you have a New Orleans team that did get back to 500 today. By the way, they win at Indianapolis. I thought a pretty good performance by the Saints, all things considered. 38-27. They get the win. This is probably the best the offense looked. 511 yards for the Saints today on 7.7 per play. Not the best performance from that Colts defense. And, the Colts, by the way, and we'll get to their matchup with Carolina later. But, you kind of thought, okay, because I used New Orleans in a contest. I didn't bet it, but I used New Orleans in a contest, and it did get there because I just thought, well, are the Colts maybe hung over from the week before that loss, having it kind of taken away from them against Cleveland with some bad calls? And they certainly were. And whenever I see something, Dave, circulate on the X or on the Twitter where it looks like, okay, a team's got dissension in the ranks because we saw New Orleans after they beat or played Jacksonville on that Thursday night. The videos leaked out where Derek Carr is yelling at Chris Olave, run, don't stop your route. So it seemed like there's dissension in the ranks.
By the way, every quarterback
that happens
has
with every single football team that is not dissension in the ranks. Like because it's Derek Carr and he's seen as a mediocre quarterback, and it wasn't, Peyton Manning with the G dang it, Donald.
Right.
Yeah, remember that with Donald Brown?
Absolutely.
His running back who missed the block.
Every quarterback does that, but I guess if you don't have the cachet, if you're not good enough, then you can't.
So there wasn't dissension, and I thought that was overplayed. New Orleans, certainly lowered the boom on Indianapolis, 38-27, their best performance of the season. So now you see a little bit of adjustment, 5.5 to 6 with the Bears. We'll see if this. I don't think it's going to go much higher necessarily because this was not the best spot for the Bears tonight, but we'll see. You got to obviously look at the various injuries. When is Fields going to be ready with that thumb issue? Bears took a couple injuries tonight, I think, on the offensive line, so that is certainly a concern. But New Orleans is just one of those teams, even though they have a great home field, like if this was the old New Orleans Saints, if this was, Sean Payton and, Drew Brees and the whole gang, then you would trust them. But I don't trust this team as like a somewhat sizable favorite here. Not that I love the Bears in this spot, but gosh, I don't trust New Orleans because, let's be honest, Dennis Allen, very good defensive coordinator over the years, and still calls the plays on the defense for New Orleans, which I think is their best unit on the team. Mm-hmm. I think that's what carries them. Never has had a winning season as a head coach. So I'm a little bit lukewarm on laying the spot with the Saints here. So it'd be Bears or pass.
Total's gone up to 41.5. I looked to the over a little bit in this one too because in the second half, and I know it was out of hand tonight at SoFi, but the Bears did have a 4th and 1, a 4th and 2, and a 4th and 3. They didn't convert on any of those. Mm-hmm. Those are points that were left on the field tonight. And I know you go, 30-13. How would you get behind the Bears scoring some points? I think the Saints have figured something out offensively. They should be able to keep that going against, I think, an below-average defense in Chicago.
Right.
And whether it's Bagent or Fields, if Fields is healthy, we saw he was starting to get in a bit of a groove. I know it was the Commanders on a Thursday night, but he and DJ Moore looked like they had something going.
Yeah, they did.
Right? And to me, I think Tyson Bagent, if he has to go another start and make his 3rd consecutive start, I don't think that's the end of the world for the Bears in this spot either. So if you're a Bears backer, and I'm leaning that way with you too and towards the over, I might wait and see if I can get a 7.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know if it's going to get there.
I don't know if it'll get all the way there.
But I'm with you on the total because I do think that the Saints maybe has found a little something. Like I don't think it's totally fixed, but you had a solid performance, especially in the second half against Jacksonville on Thursday night. And then you put up 5-11, and this Colts defense hadn't been horrible.
No.
All year,
they went through them very quickly, especially in that second quarter.
Only gave up 1 sack today, and 20 and 29 for 350 for Derek, and then also ran the ball okay. The Saints have really struggled to run the ball all year, and they were able to get 36 carries for 161. So probably the best game of the season I've seen New Orleans play top to bottom.
So again, open 5.5, up to 6, total open 41, and that's just bumped up a little bit to 41.5. So keep an eye on those numbers. And again, the Justin Fields news would be the biggest news. Again, if Fields says he can go and the doctors clear him, where does that number go? Because it would come down, I think, a small tick.
Maybe 4.5, 5. I could see, because I still think New Orleans is going to be respected. Based on the kind of the last 2 weeks, maybe being their best games of the season. So I guess the market's going to buy on good news here a little bit.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.